All right, we're live. Welcome to RC Conspiracies. We're going to get jumping here in just a minute. Got a special guest on the line with us tonight. Mike Eaton is back. He's here to talk monster trucks. Losi monster truck? Question mark? They asked the question. We want to come up with an answer. So we're going to talk a little bit about whether or not we think this will come to fruition, and also what we'd want or expect from a company like Losi to get involved in the game and what they bring forward. So we'll be talking about that in just a minute, guys. If you're coming in after the podcast started or video podcast, the show, we'll put a time code down in the description. You can click on that. It'll take you right to where you want to be for the start of the show. Let's do it. Actually, let's not do it yet. Give me one more second. Mike's on a call on the other end. But while we're just here shooting the breeze, have you guys checked out the merch stuff that we've got? You guys don't know if this is going to be any good or not, but why don't you go ahead and hit that smash on that like button. Hit that smash. That makes no sense. That's why they let me talk on here. But yes, a little intro here. We'll get through the intro stuff. Why don't we do that? Talk about the merch now. CCxRC hoodies, shirts, RC Conspiracies, stickers, mugs, towels even. I ordered one of these towels up. It's pretty awesome, actually. It's on my couch behind me. Wow, there's my email, in case y'all wanted to see that. The While My Battery's Charged podcast, it has a facelift on it, new look. Cool stuff you can watch there. By watch, I mean listen. Well, I can't wait till we talk about the other stuff today. It's going to be awesome. Let's go back to you guys in the chat, and then we'll get going here in just a minute. Greg Carthen, Trash Can Ninja Trail, Critter RC, Kevin Gibbs, The Tank RC, Hulk Smash, Ping Stag, Jacob. Welcome, guys. Jack's RC Adventures. Thanks for the shouts there, guys, for the thumbs ups. Insane Madman. Oh, sounds like the music's telling us it's time for the countdown to begin.
Shady silhouetted images and industry teasers are finding their way into our homes and invading our minds. Their calculated information is delivered to feed our addiction for radio-controlled frequencies. It's an RC conspiracy. But we are on your side, cracking the RC code. Because the truth is out there. Welcome to the RC Conspiracies podcast. Get your decoder rings ready.
Ready.
Put on those tinfoil hats, because your fearless leader is here. Please welcome your host, the lead RC conspiracist, Tony CC. Welcome to the RC Conspiracies podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to another RC Conspiracies podcast and a little video chat thing we've got going on here. It's gonna be a good time. We've got a guest on, and we've got a guest already slated for next week as well. So we've got a couple of repeats coming up here. which are going to be awesome. Today I contacted Mike Eaton from Screw Loose Hex Hardware, big monster truck guy, and asked him if he'd be willing to come back on again, because I don't know about you guys, but my inbox blew up this weekend. Am I allowed to say that still? If you say blew up, does that is YouTube, they're going to do like that text thing for it, like the closed captions, and I think they're going to probably see that as being violent. Oh, we should maybe backtrack and start over. But no, my inbox was going nuts with people after the Losi video, and I'd already seen it and posted about it, and it's some exciting stuff potentially that we can be talking about. But today we've got a special guest, Mike, on the line. Mike, are you still there?
Yeah, man.
What
up, monster truck fan?
Alrighty. And I've actually right here got my Monster Jam tickets for the big event, which hopefully won't be coronavirus out. I'm getting worried because I didn't get the insurance on my tickets. So, well, all we can do is hopefully hope that, one, that people don't get infected with the coronavirus, and two, that the event goes on. So, Mike, are you heading this year? I know you MC the event the last couple of years, right?
Yeah, we've been doing it for a while. I don't even know how many years. I think we were there the first year that they did it over in Vegas, and then this last year they moved it over to Florida, which is great. So, yeah, man, we're excited. Monster Jam World Finals is just one of those bucket list items. If they got the diehard fans that go every single year, and then and if you're just a moderate Monster Jam fan, then you got to plan on it at least once. And I would say, while it's in Florida, now's the best time to go, just because it's so cheap to fly to Florida.
Right. So. East Coasters too, especially, it's an easier run. I was looking, both places are, Vegas isn't that expensive to fly to either, because they want you to get in there and just in volume of flights. But the prices have gone up to Vegas. I've been shocked. But I was trying to go when it was in Vegas, and then I heard it's moving to Orlando, and I'm like, sweet. Now I'm definitely going. I traveled last year, and I missed it. So I'm excited to be going this year. And I was going regardless of whether or not the RC stuff happened, but I'll be going down to do some stuff with Primal there and run the big boys. And video you guys running the 10th scale and all of that, the UTV stuff as well. So, and actually, I should say, after the last time you came on, you talked about those little Yeti Can-Ams by Axial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went out and bought one. Next day almost. If not,
excellent.
Might have been a couple days. I love it. It's really fun. And my son loves it. It's in my car. I take it with me everywhere, because it's just something, when I need to kill time. We were waiting for my wife to get a rental car, and the boys and I just took it out in the parking lot and we're ripping with it.
Yeah, we love it. I'm going to be picking up, my goal is to pick up like 5 of them, and then just to kind of have them as like an exhibition run whenever I facilitate a race or go to a race or something like that, and just, have them available for people to, just jump on and play around with real quick, and then toss them back in the duffel bag and get on my flight again. So yeah, I'm hoping, my goal is to have a set of those when we go down to Florida. So, and I'm going to take my newly converted Brooder skid steer. So I've been working on a skid steer conversion, and I think I'm going to bring that down so that way when a monster truck flips over, I'm just gonna drive that out there real quick and touch it.
Flip it over with it. That's amazing. That's really amazing.
We'll see.
Joseph Chanot says, Mike Eaton, sell me some retro steering kits. So you'll have to hit him up. Oh, dude,
I know, man. Everybody's been hitting me up, man. I've been on just a little bit of a pause here. Got some personal stuff that been having to deal with, so we've been putting a pause on the side business for a while. So, but almost out of it.
Yeah, family first.
Yeah, always, man. Yeah, you just can't do it all, man.
Yep.
So.
Well, I do like my retro ZRP retro steering kit for sure. I got one of them, probably the last ones that you were selling at the moment then. But
yeah, probably. Yeah, you probably got one of the last kits I shipped out. So, but I got I don't know. I probably got 10 or 15 more here at the house that I can put together. So, and I already got a waiting list going on. So I got to process all those.
Well, we won't talk too much about it. We won't push your screw loose right now. Then we'll let you take that break and get caught up. But
that's it.
So I don't know. Did you see the message or the thing that I saw from Losi, and what were your thoughts about it? Well,
yeah,
we can
I
read
can't
it.
Remember where I saw that at. Where was that at? Was that on the Horizon Hobby?
No, it's right posted to the Losi Facebook page right here. It says, "Do you think Losi needs a true solid axle monster truck?" They hashtag that. It says, "Technically, we are race inspired, and they do race them!" Exclamation point. Mint 400, and they're showing Bad Habit crushing, doing some jumps and just burnouts here in the parking lot. Really sweet stuff. That truck.
So is that underneath the Team Losi racing one?
Not the racing one. It's just under the Losi one.
Okay,
yeah.
It has the Mint 400
on
the top of it.
Yep, it's down on March 6th, so it's this weekend. And then there's a bunch of comments here. Marlon Cox, yes, please. Solid Axle Showdown 2019. They got their picture showing how much stuff they had. Lots of people in here. Solid Axle Nitro LST. I don't see that happening, but who knows? People can dream. People loving the SMT10s. They want more stuff like it out there. So what would you think? Do you think this is something that Losi would actually do, or are they just trying to get us in a tizzy?
Well, me, probably like a lot of people would be like, okay, Losi's owned by Horizon Hobby, Axial's owned by Horizon Hobby. What would be the difference? And I would hope that the difference would be is that the Losi one is made for performance. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that would be amazing. And when I say amazing, I'm talking about let's add some syllables in there, amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how awesome it would be.
Lots of exclamation points on the end. Hands up emojis in the air. Yeah. All that added to it.
I mean, they definitely, those guys at Horizon Hobby and Greg Sopa and all those guys, man, if they're not going to put out a performance monster truck, then, geez, because they're spending a lot of time with all these guys. They got, all those friends with Raminator. They got this budding bromance with the Anderson brothers. You know what I mean?
A bromance.
And, so now they're hanging out. Now they're hanging out with these dudes. It's like, let's go ahead and make out a little bit here. So
and see what gets made out of that. What is birthed from that relationship? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, man. Let's go to dinner and see what we got to do. So.
Oh my goodness!
Get these guys in the engagement. Let's get them through the engagement period. Let's get married. And let's have some babies. Little Losi monster truck babies.
Oh my goodness!
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. There's people in here. Saunders. I just saw Jason Saunders posted if they release something, the Saunders are in. Said Losi makes one, Team Saunders is in. They'd be down for it. Showtime Motorsports is in here. They think it's already done. LOL. Oh, snap. Hey, Marlon, what you guys know?
Yeah, right?
Oh, my gosh.
What's already done? They're already committed, or, are we talking R&D's already happened?
Yeah. I don't know. As far as what they're
speaking
thinking.
Of which,
see what Earl Moorhead.
Axial released the builder kit. Come on.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That is amazing. Mine's
amazing.
Mine's still not built, but if you can see people back there, I've got the body for it sitting on that Freestyle RC back there. It's going to be Fire Megalodon. I couldn't think of the name. I had to look at it. Apparently, I'm not a big enough Monster Jam fan. I'm just really bad with names. Like,
You
I'm
have
the
a Fire
worst.
Megalodon?
Yeah, you want to see it? Are you watching it all?
You got.
It'll be like a 15-second delay.
No, I'm not. I'm not watching it. What? Like, will it add a weird echo? So, is that the 3D printed one then you got from Jimmy?
Yes, I'll show everybody else. They can get a.
I have one of those bodies. So what? So how'd you get it? Is it wrapped already?
I had to wrap it, and let me tell you, it makes you think really bad words trying to wrap it or say
dude.
them.
No way. Like,
oh, dude,
it's just like a sticker. It's just like a sticker. Use a heat gun.
Yeah, but it's a shark. I've never wrapped anything before. It was so hard to get it around like these fins and stuff at the bottom. And I don't know, maybe I just a really bad critic, but there's wrinkles showing up and stuff now, and it's decent. I did a decent job. It's not terrible.
Yeah,
it could have been way
the wrinkles,
worse.
The wrinkles show up until you've done 10 bodies.
Okay.
And once you do a bunch of bodies, then you start to figure out how to hide those wrinkles and stuff like that. But
yeah,
it's just putting on a sticker, man. That's all. And use a heat gun. That's the big thing.
Oh, I was heat gunning it, and I was taking it apart and heat gunning it back to shape, then stretching it again, and then pulling it off and heat gunning it again to get it back, then heat to restretch, and to get it over the angles and stuff, and try and minimize it.
Pop up at?
The what?
Where's this picture going to pop up?
The picture of it?
Yeah, where's it going to show? Is it on the video? I don't even see our video.
Oh, it's on YouTube.
No, that's why. All right, I'm on Facebook.
But there's a picture of it on the Sam group. It's not the worst. So, but yeah, I haven't built the builder's kit. So you think if Losi does get involved, that they'll do more of a race setup?
Got to be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the deal, dude. It's Team Losi Racing. So, otherwise, why would they compete with themselves with the SMT10? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, if there's Losi's, if Losi's name's on the side of it, then I would fully expect it to be more performance.
Yeah. And sell it as that, right? Put the price point where it is.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, for me, axles is a big thing. Like, if they get their chance to actually design it from the ground up, and knowing the people like Greg and them who are there and want to do stuff scale and love monster trucks, I think, man, we could be seeing some cool stuff coming. But this is all speculation. Yeah. I mean, it was a harmless question. They could have been stirring us up, but they stirred us up with the SMT10 too, about whether or not they should bring it back, and they asked a few questions before that was announced. I'm trying to get back to it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the market's growing. You know what I mean? There's just more and more people that are buying radio control toys, I think, overall.
Yeah.
And, I thought I saw, was it Adam Anderson that actually did a giveaway with the Axial or something like that?
Dude, the Andersons, do you watch their stream at all, like on Instagram or Facebook? I think it was Ryan Anderson's stream.
I get posted by one of them.
Okay. Yeah. They get in his story this weekend, they had races in their backyard, like drag down over 2 jumps. They had to go around the cone and then come back. And they had all the kids there. And Grandpa Anderson was there with all of his grandkids. And they were running them, man. And it was so much fun. They had a speaker out there and announcing it. And, man, it was so much fun to watch, like what they're getting into with the hobby. Plus, Horizon just had him on their podcast, Adam Anderson's. If you guys like Monster Jam, you should definitely listen to that podcast, because they're into planes, they're into all of it now. And thank you, Kevin Gibbs.
Oh, the Anderson guys are? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
They've got it all. He had like an 8-wheel monster truck. Adam did out there. But, yeah, Dennis was there. He was running his King Sling. just joking by saying grandpa, but he had all his grandkids there he was racing against. It was super awesome to watch. That kind of stuff makes me just love the hobby even more, seeing like the family aspect of it like that. So, but yeah, it's crazy because they've had Ryan Anderson and Adam Anderson, both of them when they were touring through there with Monster Jam heading to Horizon. Did I lose you?
Yeah, and plus they got a great relationship with Bari as well.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I mean they have all the good genetics. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, so they have all the good relationships with those guys. I just see it. Yeah, I totally see it happening. I really do. And maybe Losi will deny it. Nah, we're just messing around. But you know what, dude? You don't accidentally market something.
Right.
We accidentally market Platoon. Those hovercraft boats.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. My wife's yelling at my kid. Hold on a second. Get out of here. I'm on a podcast.
He's in there. Yeah. I think it's funny because of what happened with the SMT-10, I think that, yeah, there's a lot of wows. And I think that, they're probably testing the water for it and also just kind of letting people know something might be on the horizon. I don't know what reasonings why, like to let people know in case they need to save up money. It got me pocketing some money away. I know I'm kind of shelving it away. Earl Moorhead said, "Is this one of those things where I've already got one of them?" It is not. I can tell you that much.
All right,
I do not have one of them.
So let me understand what you just said here. So you're saving money for a future release of a monster truck that you don't know is coming out yet. So that tells me that you're not going to buy anything between now and then.
Oh no, I'm squirreling extra money away. Yeah. I have to have like a little slush fund because I still have to buy stuff. Like, and that's why I tell other people.
So here's
like,
Tony. Here's Tony with all these envelopes of cash.
Yeah.
Okay, this is for
the Dave Ramsey RC model.
Buy and just divvying it up, man.
This is my Losi envelope, my Axial envelope. Got an Arma envelope over here I can put money into. My
Tony
micros.
and Financial Peace University and radio control, monster truck hobbies.
Yeah,
because
right.
I don't know about you, Tony, but when I sit down and budget with my wife,
yeah,
I spend a lot of money on RC stuff, and there's no RC budget line, and so we get in. So there's a conflict.
Oh, there is. I have a whole document that I've just made up of all of the RC expenses from last year, and it is not pretty. When you have to put it all onto paper like that, and you realize, holy cow, are those real numbers?
Yeah.
Because I had some big ones last year, like the Creighton 8S and both the SMT-10 kit, the kit and the RTR that came out. Then at Christmas, everything, the little Losi Mini and the Axial you told me to buy, the Yeti Jr. So
yeah, that was like $120 though, or 150.
Yeah, 4 of the micro Axial SCX 24s, one of each of them that they have. Not each color, but each style.
Oh, really? So I picked up the white. I got the white Jeep, and then now I want to pick up the C10, so I have 2 of them.
Oh, man. Yeah, the C10. So people that don't know about the C10, I just bought one of them today. I already had the gray one. I had pre-ordered that. But they're building a track up at our hobby town. And he said, "Hey, man, come up. We've done more to it. You can run your truck on it while I'm working on it." Mike Dayton. You've met him at the Showtime stuff and some of the other events. And so I'm like, sure, man. But I'm already out at like a lunch meeting. So I just roll up there and I just bought the silver one to run. And yeah, it has. So the whole point I was trying to get to was that it does have the roll bar light bucket thing for the bed. It's not installed, but it does come with it. So,
are you serious?
Yep.
Really?
So I didn't get the green one as the pre-order because I'm like, well, this one has the cool light bar and, black rims. So, but no, it does have it. They're silver.
So which one's that? The gray one? The gray one comes with all those?
Well, the gray one has it installed. It has the little light bar. It doesn't have lights in it, but it's like the simulated KC lights up on the rack,
Yeah.
But the green one didn't have that, and it still doesn't when you buy it. It's in the box, and you have to put it on yourself if you want it. They wanted to keep the truck look, the old truck, which is cool. I love the little axial thing on the side. Travis Paul, there is a freestyle envelope. You guys know that. I just didn't get to list all of the envelopes that I have going.
Yeah,
I have
people are like messaging in now.
Yeah, it's actually Travis. The freestyle envelope is actually a Traxxas envelope, and it's for rod ends. Because when I send that thing, I break rod ends. But no, actually, I haven't broken that many of them. And luckily, when it does break, that's where it breaks. That's the only breakable part on those trucks.
Oh, dude, So Zimmerman,
yep,
the owner of the company, I have a picture of him. He totally like bent the links like bad, like
really?
pretzeled them.
Wow.
Yeah, and I saw this truck do crazy, insane stuff all weekend long. So this has got to be one of the first RC World Finals that we did in Vegas. And he goes nuts. Like freestyles his thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his name. That's his namesake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But man, he was coming down one of the straightaways and ran right into like one of those big tent poles. You know, the stakes that they use so those things don't blow away. You know, those things that look like they're like from the 1930s, like railroad tracks. You know, I mean, like
big old like metal nail. Yeah,
he jacked it, and I got a picture of him.
Oh my gosh,
with his links all because those trucks are pretty much indestructible with the exception of the rod ends that pop off all the time. And like I was like, holy cow! Like if anyone can do it, he did it. The owner did it. So man, but I don't have it. I would have to search like the archives to be able to find that picture, but I'll send it to you sometime.
That's funny. So. He left RC Fest at Horizon RC Fest with like, I think all of the links, like both the axles were just like swung out because like you said, he doesn't want it. If it's not broken at the end of the thing, he'll do something to break it. It seems like he goes out there to break something at the freestyle. So, I mean, he just launches it. And like, then he'd leave it there for other trucks to just smash off of, you know, when they're coming through. And then he had a pile of them at the end that he wanted a picture of. Amazing stuff. But yeah, it's usually just, you know, a link. That's still cheap though. You know, if you're going to break anything.
Oh yeah.
Links and rod ends.
Their axles are amazing. Like if we're talking solid axle monster trucks, like hands down, they're the most durable on the market. You know what I mean? They use
he's in
all
here.
the Traxxas internals.
Yeah, he says his radio glitched. Freestyle RC's in the chat. He says his radio glitched.
Whatever, dude. Like, have you seen him race though? Like,
dude, he stepped it up, man. The last two races I've seen him at, he's been getting up there, man. Even at RC Fest. Did you place at RC Fest, Josh? And I mean, Jason and them were there.
Well, there was, you know, I mean,
Rona was there. So
was Rona racing?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Man, he likes to race though, man. I tell you what, man, that guy, like, he loves to race and get it out.
Yep. Hey, are you tracking their I want to say Renegade, but I don't think that's the name of it. Their chassis Retaliator, or what's it called?
Are you talking about freestyle?
No, now I'm talking about, I switched over to Rona and J Concepts, the retro chassis that they're coming out with. One? Yeah, man, they had a whole video showing it. Like, it was one of Jason's favorite RC videos that he does on YouTube, where he talks about his favorite RC, and it was about the Clodbuster. And at the end of it, he showed, first in freestyle, second in racing. Who did you take second to? Was it to Rona? What's going on, Fog City?
What color was the chassis? Was it white?
Well, I think it was mixes of black and white. We talked about it last time. I don't know why I'm still on this page here, because we're not even looking at it. I'll just pull it up.
Is this something that like they're putting in production, or are they like doing it like the Shapeways deal on it, or what?
I don't know. If it was Shapeways, it would be pretty expensive. I think they're trying to make it. I think they're going to get it. Let me see. I just need to go to their page.
I gotta check that out.
So yeah, I'll tell you what video is it. I'm trying to pull it up on here online for people. Everyone else says we're talking about it. It was under his favorite RC right here. Jason, all-time favorites, Tamiya Clodbuster. And then if you go to the end, the regulator chassis, that's what it's called. So it has, no, it's black.
It makes me think of, what's that Western movie? Young Guns?
Yeah.
Regulators.
Yeah, man.
Up.
And it could be, you know, he's such an 80s fan, man. If you watch his story.
I bet that's it, man.
So he's got, it does have white on the bottom, like the chassis, or the, what wouldn't be, or, because there's no transmission. I was going to say your transmission plate, but it's with that. Yeah, there are some white plastic parts, but it looks like it might be a carbon fiber cut type chassis. Anyway, it's interesting for anybody that's into retro. That's one of my favorite
So you said that's on the J Concepts Facebook page?
Yeah, it's on their J Concepts Live on YouTube. It's called Jason's All-Time Favorites, and it's Tamiya Clodbuster. It's on January 15th. And Joseph did say regulator. He got it there. And Showtime got it. And Jerk got it. Jerk Motorsports. Saunders got it. Everybody else knew. I couldn't remember. I knew it was an R. Now we need to find out. Maybe he says in that video if that's a reference or not. Did they have a Clodbuster in that movie, maybe? I don't know. I'm trying to think of why he would do that. Call it that, but yeah. Showtime, retro rules.
Did you just say if they had a Clodbuster in the Young Guns movie?
Oh, the Young Guns. No, they would not have had it in Young Guns. I wasn't thinking back far enough to what movie you said it was in.
You know, like, hey, man, I chiseled this out of wood. One day these are going to be popular.
Yeah.
We don't have trucks, but we're going to go to monster trucks. Regulators mount up.
Yep.
Stagecoach live. Backflips and freestyle with the horsies.
Roam the land in your regulator. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping if Losi comes out, that it does have an awesome set of axles under it. You know, I'd love to see something scale as far as axle look. I don't know if that will lend itself to durability. That's always the question, right? For what people expect these things to do nowadays. But yeah, I'll be curious how, you know, all new transmissions, everything that they're going to do, it'd be interesting to find out what it would look like if Losi did it.
I mean, you know, the biggest thing is the durability of, you know, the open diff and then the axle, you know, the axle shafts that come out and stuff like that. I mean, that's where we really need the innovation, I think, in the monster truck scene is someone needs to come out with some really good, durable internals for those axles.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think the plastic is a big deal or anything. You know, obviously if you put the right, you know, whatever reinforcements on it, but when it comes to the internals, man, that's the most fragile part.
Yeah, especially for for racing, right? It's where you'd break it potentially would be freestyle plastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what
and Losi knows how to make.
Go ahead.
And Losi knows how to make those parts beefy. You know what I mean? Like if you look at all the, you know, the parts that they made for all their bigger, like fifth scale stuff and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, bumping up from a 4 millimeter shaft to like a 5 millimeter or 6 millimeter shaft, like, you know, shouldn't be a problem for them at all. You know what I mean? And they should just definitely think just beef in all those components. And then also including the ring and pinion gear with the spider gears too. So, as long as, I mean, that's where, you know, hopefully that's where we see somebody stepping in and really just goosing those things out. You know, freestyle, you know, Traxxas has got their thumb on that type of stuff, durability, obviously, because they want to be the fastest name in RC racing and stuff like that. So, So Freestyle adopted the Traxxas internals, and it's a winner chicken dinner. So
right. But does Traxxas actually race?
Race? What do you mean? Well, I mean, is there a slogan like fastest name in RC or something like that?
Yeah,
Isn't that one of their
it's
taglines?
probably it wasn't racing, but it was probably tying itself to the XO1. Right.
Well,
back in the day,
yeah.
as a ready to run, that probably was fastest name in RC.
But you take any of their stuff, dude, like their Stampede, their Slashes. I mean, all these trucks are just like super durable, man. I mean, you can lay a beating down on all those trucks, and I a lot of people give them a hard time, which I don't get. I really don't get, because they really are instrumental to the growth of the hobby. But these guys, like, I mean, their stuff can take a beating. Like, if I want to buy a car for my kids to just like beat, I buy a Traxxas vehicle, hands down, every time.
Yeah. See, I find that.
Yeah,
like,
wouldn't
I
you?
did that. I bought the Sentin for my kids because of cost of what I could get, and it was durable. I mean, they've sent it off my Send It ramp many times. The only thing that I've replaced was the servo on them. But other than that,
compare
tough.
like what you did with your Sin compared to what you did with like your Max.
Oh, right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the durability of that. Well, no, I said the Sentin, the Arma Sentin of their short course by Arma.
I thought you meant the Sin Racing. Okay.
No, the
okay.
the Arma Sentin short course is like $300 brushless, and just send that thing. So that's what I got. A lot of short course trucks. There's just so much protection. But yeah. I do, when you're talking about axles and internals, I mean, Freestyle definitely got it right when they went with that Emax diff setup. Man, that thing is tough. And even like the big drive shafts on it, I've had no issue with those. Or T-Max or whatever they are. But and those are the Traxxas, but they're just plastic, but they're really beefy.
It. They can take a beating, keep on ticking. I've seen it time and time again. I mean, if you ask anybody who's racing the monster truck stuff, like everybody agrees, like which ones are the most durable. So, I mean, if Losi's looking to get into it, I would say, like for me, that's the plumb line. So that's the you know what I mean? Like that's the line of, we got to make it this durable. I remember I used to work up at a camp up in upper state New York, up near Glens Falls area and stuff like that, in Lake George. And little people know this about me, but I used to be a DJ for a roller skating rink. And I remember, so we had a good relationship with this family that ran this entertainment park, and they wanted to add a putt-putt course to be able to attract more visitors and stuff like that throughout the summertime. And they already had a mini golf course right down. I say putt-putt. They already had a mini golf course like just down the road, like maybe not even an eighth of a mile. And the guy, so he had a bunch of contractors come in to give him quotes on what it would take to build. And his main thing was, he said to all of them, he says, I just want mine to be better than theirs. Like. Yeah. Mine has to be more interactive. Mine has to be, as good looking or better as the competitors down the street. And I think that's if you're going to get into, these, producing these kits now, you got to say, okay, we have to be better than the truck that's already on the market. Absolutely, 100%.
So, and that would definitely come from the ready to run setup, right? But there isn't really. So, do you think that they'll go the race route like some of the others, where they won't do the full chassis, or do you think they'll try and make it look scale and raceable, or do you think they're just going to go straight race line?
I don't know. I don't know what they would do. It's not my money.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't even know what goes behind. Like, hey, let's launch a body with this kit. I mean, let's take. So what? So Team Associated is launching that drag car, right?
Right.
So, which makes
I have one
so
of
much
those
sense
on order.
because I mean, and it makes sense because they already got the car. I mean, the car was almost ready to be put together using existing parts that they already have.
Right.
You know, and so they tossed a body on it and they tossed wheels on it. You know, why toss the body and wheels on it? You know, is the thinking behind that just because it's like, hey, we want you to be able to go from box to the street and be able to run without having to go buy, you know, other bodies and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would think they would do a ready to run just because it does sell. I mean, in hobby shops now. So if they want to have a market beyond just the people racing buying it, I would think that it would be something that they do as a ready to run.
So you almost have to do a ready to run. Like, so if you're going to launch, especially a new line, which, you know, there's very few kits, monster truck kits on the market. So
right.
like you almost have to make sure that it has a radio. That way anybody can buy it at any point
and run
no matter the age or skill level.
What I meant was, do you think it'll be like chassis plates, like half thing with the body stuck on top, keep it low, or do you think that they'll do a cage, like actual monster truck looking, you take the body off and it looks scale like the Axial? You know, if you're making it a race truck, because what do you see when you see the race trucks? Carbon fiber, you know, side panels or, you know, aluminum or whatever, but or very small. You've got like that box one now, or the ones, I mean, Josh has one, Freestyle RC, where it's literally, it looks like there's no chassis at all. And I don't actually know how they make the body hold on to it. It was the Max or something that the Saunders had. One of theirs was like, he was on their podcast with me talking about it, and I'd never heard of that lineup from Freestyle. It was only a few people had them, and it was like almost nothing as far as the chassis went. It was all just arms and a mount for the motor and enough of a chassis to be considered a truck, I guess. Some of the people in the chat are saying they think it'll be a full cage. Showtime's wondering if they'll include new wheels and tires. That's a good question.
See, now, so that's hard about the wheels and tires. You know what I mean? Because, you know, Tamiya has, you know, right now we mainly use the template that Tamiya set out there,
right? You
know, with their wheels and tires. And I don't, you know, the Axial came out with those 2.2 tires, but
yep.
You know, you really don't see those being raced around a lot. You know what I mean? So, you know, so as a company, you know, will Losi be willing to keep with the template of the Tamiya model or carcass, or
2.6 size,
or would they be bold enough, or they'd be bold enough to like make their own dimensions and, you know, create a whole new wheel and tire market?
Well, I'd hope they'd keep it still within the classes that are being raced, but yeah, I guess we'll see.
Because now, and that's a potentially contentious conversation. There is the size, the wheel and tire size,
right?
That you know, a lot of the who I consider purists or people who are really stickler. Like for me, I'm more like, you know, I'm not necessarily, it's got to be exactly 10th scale as long as it looks good. I'm more about the looks than I am necessarily the real scale part of it. But
yeah.
But a lot of people do bring that up with the wheel and tires, is that, you know, that they've been off for years, and the bodies are actually off as well. And it seems like
right, the sizing,
maybe trying to push those bodies bigger a little bit. You know what I mean? Like they've kind of
to bring the scale up,
slow frying us a little bit. Yeah.
Try and make a more realistic 1/10.
Yeah, but that's hard to do because not everyone's on that same page.
Right. Well, it's tough because you get some setups where those 2.6s just look ginormous on the trucks, right? They don't look scale at all. And then other setups where it looks pretty scale. It's just it's so weird. The way that they do dimensions in the RC world is just the weirdest thing. Like, you know, you've got the Sen is considered 1/10 by, you know, them, up to, you know, the SMT10 is a 1/10, but then the tires are tiny on it. And so it's like, well, which parts are 1/10 and which parts of it aren't 1/10?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't know this answer, but let's take the other mainstream, you know.
And it was a Rapid X, by the way.
There.
That was the Freestyle RC, was a Rapid X. But anyway, I saw.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of that chassis.
Yeah, I hadn't either, but you'll have to look at it at some point. It's almost nothing. But go ahead.
I know every time I see Josh, I'm like, I got to buy one of your chassis.
I know. I didn't like the torquiness.
Like $1,200 to throw down on one.
I didn't like the torquiness of how they drove at the beginning. You know, like the trucks, like they're twerking all the time, because it's just, I don't know. The suspension moves so much.
Twerking or twerking?
Twerking. Twerking, like the torque. Like they're just like twitchy. You know?
but that's all because of setup, though, man. Right? That's not their fault.
Well, it's the suspension that they've got in those Pro Cs. Everybody I've seen run it, it goes back and forth, back and forth.
Pro Cs, yeah. Well, those are, man, that's cantilever, right? And,
yeah.
Most of us don't even know like regular shock,
right?
Geometry and best practices. Then you get into cantilever, and I don't know about you, but for me, it's like a guessing game. I don't have any experience in that. I have to call Jason Saunders and be like, "What do you do?"
Yeah, right. And he's in here. I just left mine set up how it was, and it literally, like, when it lands, I mean, I'm running like 1/8 of an inch off the ground after the suspension. It doesn't lift back up. It just hits and stays down and goes. Body kicks back because it's just like everything's torqued backwards. Then you hit the brakes, and then the back end goes way up in the air. It drives amazingly. So I drove it for the first time at World Finals, and I was like, well, I'm sold. Like, this is almost like cheating, right? Like, you get out there, and it just, like, hits and lands and no rebound. It just wheels on the ground all the time. But, yeah. So you were going to say something, though. You're saying, and then I interrupted you with the Rapid X, about, we were talking about dimensions and all that.
So looking at these other hobbies that, I'm not into like racing short course trucks or into like, the buggies or the stadium trucks. But I mean, do they like, are they constantly trying to figure out the right tire size or body size, or has all that stuff kind of been nailed down just because it's been around for so long?
Who's that? Who are you referring to? As far as
any of those guys, like any of the stadium trucks.
Oh, right.
Stadium trucks or the buggies or the short course. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
All those wheels pretty much already predefined, and everyone.
Yeah.
Same thing with crawling.
Well, I would do it.
Everybody's basically 1.9.
Yep, and I would build right to that. My truck. If I were building a car. If I were building a short course, I'd build it so that the bodies from Traxxas or Losi or whatever would fit on it, right? Same wheelbase dimensions, because people are going to buy it if they know that they can upgrade it and make it look like their own. So I would want all the different pieces that I could to get to fit on it without completely copying it.
And I think that's what's great with Team Associated coming out with this drag car is because I think they're kind of setting the pace on, okay, this is going to be how we move forward. Because right now, everyone, before that, everyone's, we're buying a Slash and we're trying to get Bandit arms, and then J Concepts makes bodies that you have to use the Bandit arms, but then Proline uses bodies that you can use the regular Slash arms. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, it's a little inconsistent, and being a person coming in and trying to get into it, you got to do a lot of research and trial and error.
I just did a Slash one.
And if you follow the forums for the Slash drag racing, almost every day there's the question of, okay, what do I need to do to get this wheel to fit? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and so it seems like Associated took the dimensions of what those Slash dragsters are, because that Nova body that you can get fits on I just saw one, RC Drag Talk had a picture of theirs on the DR10. And so these are bodies that are already being used on people's Slash builds, fits right onto the DR10, which is smart. So smart to do it that way. There's already a lineup of bodies out there. So, yeah. I would build mine to the specs so that it would fit. So there's already bodies made that people will buy it and have aftermarket hop-ups they can do to make it look awesome. But
so that's what Losi does with monster trucks. Then is saying,
I don't know.
Here's what is already out there for wheels, tires, and bodies, and we're going to design something that's going to fit automatically within these specs because the aftermarket support's already there.
I would look at what J Concepts has to offer for bodies in their monster truck lineup, Pro line, find out the wheelbases of them, and I'd start there, because what do these people do? Anytime they buy an axial, most of them get rid of the body and they do something else with it, right? So
yeah, well, you can only have so many Max D's and Gravediggers out there. So
right, luckily nobody kept their Max D's, so I'm one of the few.
Dude, I like all the other versions of it. The black version,
dude,
and the fire version.
The fire one is insane. It's Ross Hinshaw that has that, right? I think it. I
don't know.
I
thought Barry was one of the first ones to produce something for it. So.
Okay, maybe Ross was just telling him how to do it. I saw him in there commenting.
Well,
about
and
it.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if those guys do it too. I mean, the Trigger King series, like they know, like they're really cool. They show a lot of cool looking trucks.
Somebody has that new bad habit. Like that's me. Like that's what they teased it on. So Losi's like, they're showing a video of Bad Habit and asking if we want, if they should do a solid axle monster truck. I'm like, dude, if you guys did that one, even if people didn't know what truck that was and they saw that paint job on that thing, oh man, I would be all on that one.
That one or the Bad Company, man, I love the Bad Company design.
Yep.
That body is so hot.
Yep.
But then everybody got them, so everybody had like, I got a blue one. I got an ice one sitting in my hobby room. So
Net Cruiser.
I'll be excited, man. Losi's like, you know what I mean? Like that's, it's almost like we're adults now.
Yeah.
Man, but someone just asked a question about, I thought it was Jimmy Lewis, man. And I forgot what he said. He asked something about, I can't remember if it was wheelbase or something that they're talking about, like basically making the monster truck scene just bigger. The wheels are bigger, the bodies are bigger.
Are you talking about on
more true scale?
Are you talking about on the Sam group?
Was it there?
So they actually are talking about introducing, and Josh, if he's still watching, or Travis, they are talking about a new class where they have to weigh 9 pounds. They have to have a full cage. They want them to, because the problem is the trucks that look scale can't compete, right? So they want to make something so that people
Ultramod.
build.
Is that the
Ultramod?
class?
Ultramod, where they look super scale. And then they're competing each other on that level. They have to be shaft driven. So yeah, I think that's the one. But I don't know what Steve O.D. is laughing at. I did something. I was trying to watch some of the comments over here. But Net Cruiser was saying something about the drag. Oh, the build. Yeah, so I just built mine, but I didn't build it. My buddy Jeremy came over, and we were talking about we're going to work on some trucks together, and I was telling him about the drag build, and he's like, well, I'll swap out the chassis. So I literally just went and bought a Bandit VXL, never drove it, straight out of the box. He stuck that chassis on for me and glued the tires, and that's all it took. And it was a dragster. So I
have a street, what they call a slash street eliminator someone built maybe a little bit over a year ago. Guy never used it. It's been sitting on my shelf. It's all ready to go. I just got to paint the body and rock and roll with it. But I got that. But then I looked at that Team Associated one, because for me, I'm like you, I got kids, and I don't want to ever be playing out in my backyard just by myself. So.
Right.
If I get one, I need to get two, which my backyard's a big parking lot. So for me to do drag racing isn't
easy.
hard at all. So
yeah. Have somebody
So
yell
I
go,
got
and then,
I actually have one of those Traxxas. I got a real timing system for inside that we do for the monster truck races, but then I got a Traxxas system that I can set up outside.
yeah, that's perfect.
And do some heads up racing, man, dude. It's so funny, man. And even watching those guys like that just went over and competed in Vegas,
Yeah, man.
and getting all in the
I watched
up about
all of that.
Having a wing and
Yep.
all that stuff.
How big the wing was and some of that stuff, or the shape that they were doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like really big
and
wings.
that's an interesting scene to watch because it's not like drag racing just popped up. People have been doing RC drag racing for years. So you got like Tim Smith and those guys who've been doing it for eons and setting world records.
Yep.
And now you got all these guys that are just like, I built this yesterday and I'm going to go out and race and come see if you can beat me, and put $100 down on it. So
yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, well, I watched. They did the live stream of it over on RC Drag Talk, and so I was just sitting there watching it.
Oh, they did?
Oh, yeah, and they're still up there. And so, like John Schultz and them, it's funny because between the races, there's like that downtime between the next ones coming up, and they were just like cracking up and cracking me up during the whole thing. So, oh man, Steve O'D says Monster Jam is coming to Ford Field this weekend. I'm going camping this weekend. Otherwise, that would have possibly been a flight to make with my son. That would be awesome.
What's the weather like where you're at?
Here it was pretty warm, and then it rained today. It's like, I don't know, 65, 70.
Jeez, I'm so jealous, dude. We're still like, it was warm up here, but it wasn't like let's go camping.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here you can't camp in the summer. It's just too hot. Like you wouldn't want to tent camp here. So I grew up in Michigan, and man, it was awesome. It'd be hot during the day. You'd be swimming. Then you'd go back at night. You could have a campfire. It'd be like 70 degrees at night, Yeah,
just sitting by the fire 10 feet away.
Yeah, here you can't do it, though. Yeah, right? You can't be too close. So people in here saying, what does it need? I asked them what they want if Losi made one. Sean's RC says RTR affordable. I don't think it's going to be the cheapest rig out there if it's a race rig, race built. And the axial comes in at what, 300, just around there, just above.
Oh yeah.
I'm
going
to guess
the norm for like RTR is like $500 now, $400.
No, they've brought it down on so many things, but on like the old Team Losi racing stuff, when I bought one was like $500 for like the SCTE, the 10. That was like their 1.0. You could get it ready to run. It was like $550. I'm going to guess it's going to be up there. I'm hoping that they make the components good enough that it's in that range. But you get something that's awesome out of the box. So I would doubt it. If they put in a good brushless system and they make it bulletproof and they do a cage and they get licensing, they bring that over with their, I don't know if it's through Horizon that has the licensing or Axial. So I'm hoping it's through Horizon and they can bring over scale bodies. Would be cool. But that's a question mark, right? Like, how is that wrapped up with Feld? Is that through Axial alone? But I would hope that there's some kind of body with it. But they could get some of these outside ones because, like, ECX has, like, an Avenger body would be really cool, right? So they've done, like, the fire truck and they've done a few other ones. It'd be cool if they could get, like, Avenger or even, like, the Bad Habit or, like you said, Bad Company. But Danielle says bulletproof drivetrain and scale looks. I'm for the scale looks. I love the Freestyle RC ZRD, the big one, aluminum, make it heavy, put shocks all around like crazy and just make it look cool. I love that look. That's why that was the first Freestyle I got. I wanted that huge metal chassis. Took me almost 2 years to get it, but I got one. Josh actually says they need a strong drivetrain as well. What are the racing? What are the races on the outdoor track? Scott, we race them inside and outside, at least for these monster trucks. You see a lot of them running in small places. Trail Critter 4-wheel steer. Now, if they could do, so they've got, have you seen the new The new Spectrum controller that's with the X-Max?
No.
Not the X-Max. Oh my gosh, Spectrum with an X-Max. Just like...
You talking about the Mac?
No.
Yeah,
It's with the
wrong,
Creighton 8S. Sorry.
Okay.
That was a snafu.
Two man cross branding.
Sorry, Traxxas. Sorry, Horizon.
Dude, yeah. In one statement, you ticked off two companies.
I just ticked off everybody. No, but they've got the new controller with it, and it's got a rocker, like third channel switch that you could totally rear steer with. Click it left to turn on left rear steering, push it forward to do right steer. That would be amazing. Are you guys? I mean,
no, man. Like,
it would be amazing
it's cool
if they
for the novelty part. Have you ever raced with 4-wheel steer?
If they did it right, I think it could be cool.
Ugh.
If they had a four-wheel steer class.
I love 4-wheel steer.
New class.
Instantly.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Ultra mods with 4-wheel steer on 2S,
yep.
two tires.
Yep. Ultra mod needs to be 4 steer, guys. Josh, everybody, 4 steer that thing, man.
Gross. No way, dude.
I'm getting the 4 steer for my my Primal. Watching Kevin Talbot with that thing, 4 steering it at that skate park, how he could just whip it around with the rear steer was amazing. But it's a bigger platform, so you don't get as much of that. It is pretty crazy on those small platform when you do 4 steer. It gets a little out of control.
I mean, the reason why you don't see it a lot because it just doesn't work, man. There's like one company like PRP, you know what I mean? Like they made some high-end Clodbuster racing chassis, and those dudes had 4-wheel steer. But when we say 4-wheel steer, it was like the rear wheels just kind of like hinted at turning. You know what I mean? And they were really good, and they perfected it. But like,
just turn it down, yeah.
And they ain't nobody. I mean, the reason why no one does it is because they can't. It's just too, too unstable. Man.
Well, man, especially when you hit speeds and it starts doing the wobble, because the servo is just not strong enough to keep it straight. It starts getting that little
and it's not scale speeds either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it'd be different. I mean, the turning that we do, you know, is at super high speeds for these vehicles, and it's just not practical.
Yeah.
You know, all power to. I've just been to so many races where like somebody's come and they put Mike McKenzie and they put all this like energy into making their vehicle look so scale and act scale with like 4-wheel steer, and they're happy with it, but they, you know, they're not winning any races with it. And then next thing you know, man, they're coming back and they toss the 4-wheel steer. You know. Yeah,
well, the 4 steer, like, you'd have to dial it back. You wouldn't want, because it's on or off when you do it with that mod where you set it up so it's forward or backward. You're not literally, it's like all or nothing. And so you have to set your endpoints. And you can also ramp it so that if you just click it, it'll only do a little. But that's how I have my retro set up, because you're not getting as crazy as speeds either. But I have it set up on one of the 3-position toggle switches. If I toggle it forward, it automatically goes back that toggle switch to center. So if I just hit it, it'll do a quick rear steer.
I mean, all the trucks that I have 4-wheel steer on, like they also like dog track all kind of weird and stuff like that. Like for some reason, I can't get the tires lined up right, so I'm always like adjusting them, and it looks like the rear end is going to like Albuquerque and the front end is going to Dallas.
Yeah, your alignment,
you know what I mean?
your alignment is way off. Yeah, that's how my Bigfoot drives. Like the wheels are offset.
It goes straight. Well, it doesn't look like it's going straight, so there's that.
Yeah. Well, and there's some people that do it so that it's not, it just always turns on 4 steer just when you turn, but they have it so that it, I mean, you can set it so when you turn, but it only does like 20%. It just gives that little bit. But yeah, why not throw on omnidirectional wheels too? You be quiet, RC Mask Master. But, no,
we don't want no new technology.
No, it's fun for retro. One of our guys that with the No Limit runs it. I actually haven't been running my Bigfoot this year because I made the mistake of buying like 5 new retros this last year. So I've been running a few other ones, and I had one of them that Jason Saunders made for me, and that's the one I'm running. I'll be running it this weekend with good old Grandma Digger. That ZR, man, I'm gonna get on you. We want that race chassis from ZRP again. That thing is amazing.
Amen,
Come on
brother.
now.
So do I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do we gotta
Who
yell
knows,
at?
man? There's really no one to yell at. It's either going to happen or it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? I try not to get anybody's hopes up. And if we're able to bring it out, we're able to bring it out. If we can't, then...
I gotcha.
Hey, man, I heard J Concept's coming out with a new one.
Well
Just roll with those guys.
Well played. Well, they were doing something with steering, too. They were doing a mod so it was behind axle or something like that, too.
For retro?
Yep. So we'll see.
Why?
Get a little bit more steering turn, which would help. That's why I did 4 steer on my retro, is because some of these tight courses where they make you do a hairpin and come back, it's like, I'm driving all the way around the field to come back in, or doing like 3-point turns with the stock one.
Yeah, there's only been one retro race that I went to. Well, the NRC TPA, the guys that run out in Ohio, and I think they're still running, but they would typically do tight courses.
Yeah.
But there was one year at the Showtime that the Showdown, Showtime Showdown, they did a tighter course, and that was the year I actually went and like put 4-wheel steer on all my retro trucks because I just couldn't do it as tight. But then, the next year it wasn't even like that. So go back and take them all off.
Yeah. Now, do you guys run a Traxxas?
Sell the steering kit.
Yeah. Do you guys run a Traxxas 2-wheel drive? People are talking about the Traxxas 2-wheel drive monster trucks. Do you guys race those up with your group?
So the Michigan Monsters, when I used to race with the Michigan Monsters back 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and this is when Traxxas had first come out with the Monster Mutt and Gravedigger. The Monster Energy was the Snap-on special or something like that. But so they had started a class, it was supposed to be an intro to monster trucking class. And it was fun, man. You had to keep it stock. The only thing you can change, I think, was the fluids and the shock oil, and then the steering servo. You can upgrade the steering servo. Those are the only 2 things you can do to it.
Okay. So. Yeah, so it's like a
fun class,
spec,
dude.
Spec
is
class.
that what you're talking about?
Super cool.
Class?
Yeah. Somebody just mentioned that they came out with. We were talking about retro, and they said they came out with the retro Bigfoot, which is more the paint colors and all that. But I think they're fun, man.
Yeah, those bodies are awesome.
That's what got me hooked on RC in the first place. Is those, and I actually like the ECX too, like the Brutus. There's something fun about those 2-wheel drives, having to let off the gas, or not gas, but the throttle to steer to get some, push the tires into the dirt. But
I think the reason why these classes are not thriving in different monster truck clubs is just the time. You only have so many hours to race, and when you're getting 100 truck entries, you know what I mean, and half, more than half are obviously pro mod, and then you got the other half retro racing, and guys are bringing 3 to 4 trucks per class. There's just not enough time in the day to do some of these other fun classes. That it really just comes down. It's not that they're not fun, and it's not that they're not cool, and it really comes down to time. So these event organizers, when they have to run a race during a day or run a race over a weekend, there just is not enough time to add more classes. And when they do, when you do have a lot of classes, that means people sit around a lot, which kind of bums people out either too. So there's just a balance there. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, it's tough. So I'm only running retro this weekend because the last couple races I've went from 10 a.m. till 7 p.m. Or I only went to one of them. I was out of town for the other one, but that's when they said it went till. And so I've got my mom's birthday and stuff this weekend. So I'm man, I'm just going to come and run retro because I want to race, but I can't give up that many hours on this particular weekend. But I hang out with so
Yeah,
many people. I enjoy it. I don't mind, I know my wife's like, yeah, why are you gone so long? And I'm just like, it's good. And like, I enjoy it. I work from home. And so it's like a great opportunity for me to see people and hang out. And
a little bit of mancation.
Yeah. That's why I talk so much on the podcast and stuff and on here, because I don't ever get to use words.
You can't talk about it now.
Nobody wants to talk to me. So I'm going to force them to hear me talk.
Yeah. My wife, back in the early days when I started racing, my wife would go to events with me, but she doesn't go anymore, man. She's like, "Oh, you're racing this weekend? All right, I'll stay home."
Yeah. Yep.
But
so,
I think, for us that come out of town, so my local club, like I race with the New York DeFalco brother guys, even though we race in Enfield, Connecticut. So for me, that's like a 4.5 hour drive, which I'm probably one of the rare people that's willing to do a 4.5 hour drive on a monthly basis for just a day's worth of racing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, when you look at, okay, so we get there at like 8:30 to try to get a good pit spot, get your batteries in all your trucks, try to start racing by 10 o'clock. So yeah, when you saying 6, 7 o'clock at night, man, it's just a late time,
Yeah.
So
yeah, for you, if you got to drive, for sure, that's tough at the end of it.
Yeah. And that's how it is for
a lot of them.
A few people. Not that they drive that far of a distance, but time, we just don't have unlimited time, so you just gotta really cut down what you want to do. So, but man, this weekend they got Monster Cross going off over there in Pennsylvania with Matt. So have you heard of Monster Cross? So it's like track racing with monster trucks.
Yep. I really want to come. I have a Slash son of a digger ready to go. I've wanted to come. I wanted to come up because they were going to do something like that up at DC, right? When J Concepts had the event this past, is it last summer now?
Yeah, but that was weird. That was weird. They ended up doing, instead of racing, and I think it was because they weren't able to set up the transponders and the ability to track laps. I think they were going to try to do that. So what they ended up doing was just like racing, you have like 5 laps to try to get the fastest lap, but it was like done by like a stopwatch. So it was kind of,
so it wasn't a bunch of people at the same time.
Yeah. And I don't think they ran everybody at the same time. I think they ran one at a time.
I want carnage.
Yeah.
I'm in it for the
Which
carnage,
is what,
man.
Now that's what they're doing. They're doing that at Monster Cross, and they do it not only with the Slash conversions, but they're doing it with our Pro mods.
Yep.
They're doing it with the retros. They do it with what they call the 2-wheel tough trucks, which would be like your CNCs and everything.
Yeah,
and,
that'd be the
man. That I've wanted to do it, and that's a throwback. That used to be like those guys in Pennsylvania that are hosting that. They used to do that race for years at I can't even remember the place. Wasn't the Dungeon, or it was some kind of weird name, but they used to do it right down there past Pittsburgh, and that was their deal. Was they did this track racing, and they also used to do that back over in Downriver RC up near Dearborn, Michigan. The guys would do the track racing there too. Man, it's so much fun. It looks fun. I've never done it. I can't imagine. My trucks don't even hold up for like 15-second races, so I can't imagine racing a 5-minute main.
That's where the Stampede one would come in, though. That class, for sure.
I don't know about you, man, but when I'm racing like that in track racing, I know I drive towards where my eyes are going, and I always run into people. I am so terrible. Like I get called lots of names.
Yeah.
I'm running into people all the time and coming way too hot into a corner and just T-boning some dude.
Yeah. But that's part of, I think, the fun of that. It's not as much like short course for sure, because you can bump and grind and you're not going to like really get tangled up in the wheels and roll. But yeah, for monster trucks, it could do some carnage to slam into each other. Just want to say a quick shout out to Robert Hipp. $2 super chat towards a new monster truck, and Justin paying for the bacon. That's amazing. Man. So who else is in there? Showtime. Who's going? Is anybody in here? I know Yeah. So the Saunders are driving. They're in there as Jerk Motorsports. Is a Saunders, which I'll get you that graphic tonight, man. Driving 7 hours to race there at the moto this weekend. And
Santucci's going. I wonder if the Santucci's are heading up there. They've kind of gone the last couple of years. So Sonny's great. He does really good at that event.
Okay. Yeah, I bet.
You got some Rochester guys. I don't know if Bart and CC Maymone are going to go down there. They've gone the last couple of years.
Looks like Danielle Coleman might be going. She says totally her trucks will be in pieces after one lap. I don't know if she's going or if she's just referring to how we drive or how we would drive.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and also, yeah, Danielle's right where we're at too, man.
Right.
It falls apart too, just like ours.
Yeah. Well, see, mine last race. So I was running my Pro C, and it's the first time I've really felt like I've only raced it a couple times now because I got it at the World Finals at the end of it. And then I raced it at RC Fest, but it was kind of glitching out on me weird. Like I'd pull the trigger and it wouldn't go, and then all of a sudden it'd go. Same with steering. Like you'd go to steer and it wouldn't turn, and then all of a sudden you're oversteering when it finally kicks in. So I finally took out the whole ESC and motor system, put in a new one, and I was doing awesome with it. And then the ESC came unsoldered from the plug. So I apparently did a really crappy solder job on it. I was trying to get it down to XT60s, but the wires off of the ESCs are so thick now because they want everybody to do like XT90s and all that, which is overkill for this car. But anyway, it was a nightmare. But I red lighted anyway, so it didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
It didn't matter. I red lighted anyway. I was pushing it every race. Like my reaction times were super great, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. But yeah. So I don't know. It was a bummer because it was running really good. Yep,
I've had those weekends, man. Those are the toughest ones, man. Where you put so much actual time in getting ready. You know, I don't spend a whole lot of time getting ready for most of the races. Like I'm usually the night before.
Right.
But then those weeks where you're like actually do plan it out ahead, you get everything tight and right and looking good, and then your stupid truck either breaks like right when it goes out, or you red light. You're just like, wow, that's a lot of money and time and energy to be just done.
Right. And so because I made it through the B main, won that with it, and then I was winning in the A main even, and then dropped out. But whatever. Next time.
Hey, so let's talk about that. All right, I can talk to you about the A main, B main, C main, Z main.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Track
so
time.
the thing I've been thinking about is this whole idea about a driver. Okay, so because people are allowed multiple entries, okay, so you got guys who bring in 4, 5, 6 trucks, you know, inevitably, and I'm not saying people are doing this on purpose, okay, which I guess they could, but
some guys
one of their trucks doesn't perform that well. So you got an A main guy who has a truck in the D main or in the, you know, E main or whatever, and then they basically get to get tons of lap time and dominate these lower mains, and then be able to walk into the A main or the B main completely warmed up, where everybody else that qualified in the A main doesn't have that warm up time. And so, you know, I've been really thinking about just that, and I think it really is kind of skirting what I would consider the spirit of the rule there, you know, which is, you know, hey, if you win your main, you can move up to the next one. But when you get these guys who are A main guys, but they have a truck that's like significantly lower than their class, you know, is it kind of an unfair advantage, you know, for one, their other A main competitors, and then B, for the competitors who are just like, I mean, the reason why we had D main and C main and B main is so that those guys can win a main even though they're not, you know, A main fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it felt good for me to actually win something. I was like, yeah, because I deserve to be in the B main.
Right, and win it. You know what I mean? And get your So I guess, so having said all that, I mean, I think that some of these promoters need to do is almost set a limit, saying, okay, if you are in the, whatever main, you can only move up a maximum of two levels, and then
Right.
you're done.
Oh, wow.
I personally, I don't know, man. It's either that or you just say, hey, man, you got 3 trucks in A main. Your truck that's going to be in the D main doesn't count. You know what I mean? Or something. You know what I mean?
Snap.
I don't know, man.
Shake it up.
I mean, that's where I'm at. Like, if I was to run an event that had mains,
Yeah.
I mean, the whole purpose of the mains is to get to allow more winners. You know what I mean? To happen.
Yep.
So people walk away like feeling like, hey, I achieved something here. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying, listen, I'm not saying, let's hand out participation trophies to everybody. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I've seen
It's the only trophies I
two
get, man.
events specifically. I see an A main guy who walks it all the way up from the bottom main all the way up. And, that person walks into the A main and he's like all, he's all revved up and had like 800 laps underneath this thing. And then you get all these other A main guys and they're not as warmed up. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Comment of the night from Showtime says Russ Bryant doesn't care how much track time you get. That is true. Oh man, he'll stomp you anyway. He'll A main and just wait for you.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I mean, if you ask Russ, like what do you need? He's like, just give me track time, because
yeah,
the more track time he gets, the more lethal he becomes. And the same thing for Matt Stoltz. The same thing for it's all these fast guys, dude. I'm telling you what, man. It's every one of them, and nothing against them. There really isn't, but when you get there's just a problem. When we have guys that have 4 or 5 truck entries, 3 of their trucks are at this level, and then all of a sudden they have another truck that's not at that same level. Well, they're still going to drive it fast. Well, you know what I mean? They just happen to mess up.
When you have 4 or whatever in too, or a lot of them don't allow that many anymore, but even a couple, 3. What you do is you do a couple safe ones and then you go for it with one of them and you crash. But then because of that, it puts you way down, and then you just run that one a ton of time. So if you only had 1 truck to run and you had to not crash that, I think people would be doing the qualifying a little bit different anyway. But yeah.
Bing, bing, bing. Oh man, now that's the deal there. So yeah, so we do a single entry truck race and stuff like that, and it's more you mess up, you're done. So, but us going to that type of format's not going to happen, because
or you just run your top qualifier truck, But I don't know. That's no fun because you pay for all of them. So yeah, that's the one thing about saying that one doesn't get to run out of that main, is then you give them money back for that truck for sandbagging.
So what I would
do,
I think personally, the best solution
all comes back to money.
Is I think you can move up 2 mains. So if you're in the D main and you win the D, you can go to C. But once you win the C, you're done. And even though you may go to the final round, the other guys will want to get to move forward after that.
So I can see that. Now, if you do that and you limit people from that, then I don't know. Do you get points for winning mains?
What do you mean points?
Well, a lot of them are running point series, right? And so winners get more points. Top qualifier gets points toward whatever, like at the end of the season, being the top dog. So if you did that, then you'd have to score the winners of A main up so high that then you could at least give some kind of minimal amount of points for each main below that. Take it down every one. Like,
okay, so
B
the
main
series
now
you guys
gets,
run. So
yeah, we get points for for second, third in A main, but then you'd probably also have to give some kind of points that would be less than those top 3 for the other mains.
Yeah. Either that or just give.
If you're not going to let them go up.
You get points for every win that you get. You know what I mean? So that way, the more wins you get, the more points you have. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't race in a series that does the A mains, B mains, all that stuff,
gotcha.
And points. Like we kind of run our series season a lot differently than that.
So Jason Saunders is saying it should be, if you have a single truck in A main, your lower trucks can only bump 1 A main. I could see that. because you already have one in the A main. If the other ones don't qualify in A main, then you can run them to get up a class, but then it comes down to, well, why even run them at all, right? Other than track time. But if you don't have one in the A main, you should be able to qualify all the way up to A main, right?
All the way up. Yeah, all the way up. Yeah. So if you have no trucks in the A or B main, or I would say B main, especially with these guys that are, like they have like F mains, Q.
So Showtime says they don't run mains. So you don't run mains?
I think that's a good suggestion. Huh?
Are yours just brackets the whole way back? Beat somebody, you're out?
The way we run our point series?
Yeah.
Well,
if you don't do a main event,
kind of do it two different ways. Yeah. So the New York guys, the RC, I can't even remember, RC NYC. The DeFalco Brothers series. I'll just call it the DeFalco series. The way they do it is, we race like a bunch of like 32 truck fields, or maybe even a little bit more than that, and you get points for every win. Okay. And then at the end of the day, we'll race the final big shebang race, which is either 32 trucks or 64 trucks or whatever. And your points that you've been racking up by racing those little mini heats seeds you into the last main race at the end of the day.
Gotcha.
So you're seeding in that. Now, if you are, if you're below the 32 truck mark or the 64 truck mark, all trucks, those trucks that are below those marks got to race for that final 32nd position or 64th position. And so they only have, they have a shot to race basically against the number one qualifier.
Yeah. And it probably actually runs faster though, right? Because the main means that whole bracket there is running. Well, you only bring one guy through, I guess. But so you just do one whole bracket down, like your 32 trucks just keep bracketing down until the final.
Well, I mean, so we get a lot of entries. So we have anywhere from like 60 to 80 some entries. And so they create like, the A class, which has so many trucks in it. And then they create the B class, has so many trucks in it. And so you race those out in a bracket, and then you just get points. That truck that's in those brackets gets points for every single win that they have. So if you're the last guy standing, the king of the hill,
for your
truck
bracket
basically has the most points.
Yeah,
for that bracket. Yeah, and so we'll at least do one round of doing that. Every once in a while, we'll be able to do a second round where we actually get to race those same trucks in a similar race a second time, and you get even more points. But then basically the whole end of the day is ended off by the championship race for that weekend. And that, it depends if they do 32 trucks or they do 64 trucks.
Right.
And then all the trucks that have the highest points get seeded into that. If there's over.
So you're going to cut trucks out of the main event if they don't qualify for it. So you have to qualify for that main event. So what we do, what's interesting. One more chance. Okay. Well, what we do is it's interesting. So the no limit one goes all the way, and then we have our world finals. But it's weird because technically we're done, but then that's just an open event for everybody to come to. So it's kind of a weird. Interesting way, I guess we actually point out the series before. Too. Yeah, a big open one at the end.
The series races. Yeah, the series race ends the month before, and then the world finals is actually.
That's an invite to anybody.
People come and they win. It's not necessarily the series guys.
Yeah.
It could be somebody out that's outside.
Just a one-time national event. Anybody can come in. Cool. I need to come up for that one of these times.
Well, I mean, the one to come up for would be the World Finals, which is in September. It's usually over Labor Day weekend. So,
okay,
that'll be the one, man. You come up, I'll put you up in our hotel room. You can share with me and my kid.
Oh yeah, very cool.
Yeah,
I might. It depends where it's at too. If my wife, we were talking about doing it and going camping or something, then I would just drive out to it. But it all depends what's nearby.
Hey, so speaking of camping, I got to get off here because my wife wants to go to bed. So what RC trucks do you take when you go camping?
Usually I would used to be the Armored Granite because it was small and it could just do anything. This time I'm actually, or crawlers. We usually go crawling with them. So we try and pick places that have like rivers and little creeks with rocks and all that. So we have a few spots that we actually like to return to. And so we do all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. What about you?
Camping trucks. We usually take a crawler. We've been taking that side by side, that axial side by side.
Yep.
And then, I'll take usually some type of indestructible monster truck, which is like a Stampede or something like that.
Yep.
So,
yep. The hard, because you don't want to have tons of batteries and stuff, right? You just got to keep it somewhat simple.
Oh, I always bring way too much stuff. I say that every time. I'm like, I brought way too much. I didn't need to bring all this stuff. But
yeah.
Hey, so one more question for you, Tony. So right now, what's your favorite RC?
Oh man, the Primal, for sure. I can't walk by that thing without firing it up and driving it, even if it's just like rip it to the end of the street and back and park it again. It's so amazing to drive. Everyone says it's not fast enough.
It's so
whatever.
durable.
It's not super
for
fast.
that size and for the durability.
But man, it'll tackle. Like you can jump your curb like no problem. Just hit that thing and it just takes it.
Wow.
So I just love it. I love how it handles. I love watching it move, hearing it run. It just, that one excites me right now. So after that, since that's not really a computer, because that's not something a lot of people would have. I just love the SMT10 for just a simple, easy to go run, monster truck. The easy answer would be my Pro C, but I really only race that thing. I don't take it out and do my big bash it ramps with it. So I don't know. It's tough. How about you?
Favorite
you got a
RC
favorite
vehicle right now? Well, I got to say the one I've been playing with the most is that little Brooder. Little Brooder conversion that I did. So that one's been fun. Take up a lot of time. We just purchased
says you're still there.
Trailer, a heavy equipment trailer for our dump truck. We have a Tamiya dump truck that we converted over. So we've been doing all the. Are you there?
Well, he may not be there, but he had to go anyway, guys. So we'll go ahead and start wrapping up. What do you guys before we do? Why don't we list some of your favorites in the comments? We'll read a few of them off so other people know what some favorites are out there. See if we can give them a chance here to say goodnight or not. But big thanks again to Mike for jumping on here last minute. All right, so ZRP Diablo, Danielle, JMRCs is the Max. Traxxas Max. All right, here we go. Now they're coming in. Finally playing catch up with the timing. Godzilla Techno EB 48.4. Swampers RC is a TF2. Long wheelbase. Showtime's also with the Diablo. My favorite, like for race trucks that I have, would be the Pro C. I mean, that thing's just amazing to run, and I mean, I haven't driven anything like it before. It's a pretty special truck to run. Hayden says his favorite is the Pro C by Freestyle RC. Showtime, Rollin' Thunder is his favorite. Yeah, I love Clodbusters, and I probably drive those more than any of my solid axle monster trucks, even at my house. So I probably take back the SMT10 one. I love the SMT10, but I really do love something about the Clodbuster. So it's just fun, because I can just run it anywhere. I don't need big jumps or anything like that. I can just run them in the front yard, run them anywhere. So they're a quick go-to favorite of mine. And now with that Michigan Ice Monster, man, I just love to run that thing too. So thank you, Jason Saunders. So here we go. Here's some more. Justin O'Neill, the Outcast. Yeah, man, that thing's a ripper. The Showtime RC Motorsports, if you guys have not seen his Rolling Thunder monster truck, it is awesome. Really big scale retro. Net Cruiser, the Techno EB410. So Hayden says they can make 25 feet to flat concrete for the Pro C. Dang, that I think would do damage to mine the way the shocks are set up right now. I think I would be scraping that thing. So Robert Bashers of the DHK Maximus, awesome truck. Favorite crawlers, his Cross Demon 4x4. That's nice, man. See a tank. When am I starting RC Drift? I have the MST RMX 2.0 sitting right behind me on the thing. I just have not hit. I don't think mine would break, Hayden. I just think that it would scratch the bottom of it really bad. But lots of good ones listed here. General Hobby says he loved the Wheelie King. Really good truck I've been running recently is that Rival MT10. That thing's pretty awesome. So Mick D wants the last thing. We'll go back and hit on it really quick. What is the scoop on the Losi monster truck? Other than there's really no scoop on it, other than that they hinted. They didn't even, I guess they didn't hint at. They asked a question, which is everybody's allowed to ask questions. It felt like a loaded question in that they were kind of leading us on to start talking about something. And that question was, we're getting it pulled up here again, from the Mint. They were just at the Mint 400, and they were showing a video of Bad Habit hitting some crush cars in a parking lot and doing burnouts. And if you guys have not seen the Son of a Digger Hoonigan burnout videos, you need to stop watching this right now and going and doing it. But yeah, so they said, do you think Losi needs a true solid axle monster truck? ? Technically we are race inspired and they do race them! ! Mint 400. So there's that. I think that that's kind of a really big tease. If they're not going to come with one, that would get things stirred up quite a bit after something like that. That's all I'm saying. Oh, Hayden says it does. He's got some gouges on the bottom. That's my problem. I just don't want to gouge up that Pro C. It's so sweet. So anyway, yes, guys, thanks for tuning in to another RC Conspiracies. We'll be keeping an eye on Losi. We'll be watching for any hints that they may drop, any slip-ups in their pictures or their talk or whatever. We'll be eyeballing them. But thanks again to Mike Eaton for coming on and sharing with us. And we'll be back next week. We've got Jeremy coming on. We're going to talk about the coronavirus, what that means for the RC hobby. I know that certain hobby shops are stocking up on stuff so that they'll have it if there is a lag. They want to make sure that they have stuff in stores already. So if they can't get stuff from distributors, they've got stock. So that's smart. So they're thinking ahead. I like that. And I'm hoping that it doesn't really hit us too bad. At this point, there's probably already some delay that has to be factored in some areas. But we don't know how big this is going to get or whatever. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about the Axial dropping their prices on some of their crawlers. What does that mean? Are they just trying to compete? I don't know. Why are they dropping their prices on their stuff? We speculate around here. That's what we do. So, yeah, we'll get to that. So anyway, guys, later, Jerk Motorsports says the Rapid X is their favorite. Cool, man. Mick D says the X-Max and the Capra are his favorites. Try and get back to some of these. Thanks, Justin O'Neill. Taden says that's why I get 2 of the Pro Cs. If that I didn't even think about that. We don't even know that they're gonna do 10th scale. It could be a 5th scale because they did cancel their last 5th scale monster truck. It wasn't solid axle, but that's not around anymore. Showtime, man. What if they did an 8th scale just to be bigger than everybody else? Create their own class. Interesting. Troy Sabi says, any thought it may be 7th scale monster truck from Losi Traxxas, Super Baja Ray UDR. So using those axles. Oh, snap. So yeah, you guys, that's good questions. Robert Hip, yeah, Virginia Beach, I think, has 2 confirmed cases here in this area. The 5T was in a Mint 400 ad. That's what Foundry RC said. Yeah, I'm sure they did some running and stuff with them there, and they've got those really cool branded trucks there as well, or the smaller ones, the Baja Rays, which were really cool. Yeah, I mean, the conspiracies are out there, guys. And I don't know, I mean, we sit here and do conspiracies, but you know that the companies have to be wondering and conspiracizing, raising conspiracy. I don't know what to say. They've got to be wondering what each other are doing. And so, you know, trying to head each other off and make the best not content, but the best RCs out there for us and stuff that we want to buy. So, you know, they've got to be factoring, well, what are they going to come out with? Should we head it off, do something first? So maybe that means that there will be something coming from Traxxas too. I got a tip on that earlier, and nothing's come of it yet, but they said something was soon. And, you know, I wouldn't hold off buying anything because of it. It was just from a very trusted source. And so we'll see. We'll see if that comes. And, yeah, I just keep teasing my Megalodon here. You can see the wrap goes up inside it. I didn't do a super clean cutoff on that yet. I can't wait. I need to start building. I have so many things for you guys that I have to do. Work's been killing me. I wasn't sure I was even going to do this today. So I've been just staying up late every night doing other editing that has deadlines for like TV and stuff that I have to get done. So I'm trying to get these stories I'm producing out the door. And, but I have the crawler course that I want to show you guys eventually here. That's under that banner over there. We've got the Street Eliminator by Traxxas to show you guys. We've got the C10s by Axial, the SCX24s to show you. So many videos I need to get to and just not having the time yet, but we'll be getting to them very soon, guys. And thank you, as always, for tuning in. Robert Hip, I agree. A giant Bigfoot would be awesome. And so, yeah, I would love that. So, a solid axle one would be really epic. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another RC Conspiracies. We'll catch you in the next one.